It was the 8th of February 1942 that I was shot down. I remember the date well because it was the date before my 22nd birthday. And 4 of us had been scrambled after some 109s in the area. And my leader was Jerks McLean. And we got separated somehow or other. And I was hunting around looking for him. He was looking for me, obviously. And I committed the cardinal sin, and that was I flew straight and level for longer than about half a minute, or quarter of a minute really, because while I was looking around for him, I sort of looked down and he was coming up towards me, and as I looked at him, I suddenly saw these 12 coils of smoke coming up towards me, and it was Jerks, and I thought he was firing at me. Actually, he was firing at a 109 which was busy shooting at me, and all I felt was something poking in my back, and there were a lot of bangs, and the engine started burning. Jerks, quite rightly, was shooting not at me, it just looked that way. He was aiming off in order to put a squirt between me and the 109. I don't know what happened, whether he hit him or not, but I heard these bangs and the engine started burning, and I decided to get out, but then the flames went out, so I stayed put and decided to put it down on Gazala. It was one of the Gazala aerodromes. And so I went on down, came into land. There were no flaps because the system had been blown away, and there were no brakes either, so I landed, and as I was running along there were a lot of blue lights went past my left wingtip. He obviously fired again. Whether he fired to miss me I don't know, but they were definitely at my wingtip as they bounced. That was his tracer, because normally they were red, you know, I've been shot at before and you've got these red ping pong balls. But strangely enough, these were blue, a sort of greeny blue colour. And I got to the edge of the aerodrome, and having no brakes, it belted on, and my one wheel went into, my left wheel as so happened, went into a bit of a hole, and the machine swung round, and as it stopped I looked up to my right and he was on his way down again. So I got shot of my straps and my parachute harness, and I went over the side of the, onto the wing and fell down on that, and then hooked the leading edge and pulled myself up behind the engine. I thought that would take anything that came at me. And as I watched, the blue lights again went under the nose of the aircraft, and I felt myself hit in the hip. Once he'd passed, I slid off, and there was a gun emplacement. It was about 50 meters away, I suppose, and must have been about 4 or 5 feet high and made up of the local rock, and I belted off into that, and he came down again and he flamed the aircraft. And so when it was over, he pushed off, and I got up and walked to the aeroplane, and it was Billy Herbert's which I'd used. He was my mate in one squadron. It was called the Glamour King, and anything less glamorous at that stage had to be seen to be believed. But as I was walking towards it, a South African armoured car came out of the local bush and came up to me, and I was very angry. I asked him why the hell they didn't fire at this bod, because I mean he was going straight at the machine and straight up, and they quite rightly pointed out to me that he had 20mm and they'd only got a thin side on their armoured car. If it had been a tank, it might have been a different. Anyway, they collected me. Out of the rubbish I picked up what was left of my parachute and the buckle. I've still got the buckle, and it's got gouge marks in it, fully open, but where I turned the knob and hit it to release it, and but they've got the gouge marks where some of the bullets had gone. I subsequently found, reading Fighters Over the Desert, a book, that his name was Schultz, and that he eventually, I think, got 51 destroyed. So I was shot down by a master in that respect. But